Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny. You never know what you're going to get on this channel. So today's video is Wet n Wild Wednesday. 99% of what's on my face is Wet n Wild. So if you want to see how I got this look and how in the middle of this video I got struck with a kidney stone and you get to see me suffer, then just keep watching. Thanks guys. On to the video. So for the first step, I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Rose Primer Serum. Now this came out at the same time, I believe, as two of the other products that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to put this on off camera as well as for my foundation, and I'll go ahead and apply that off camera. Actually, on one side, I'm going to use the Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. This is in the shade Soft Beige. And on the other side, I'm going to try the Tinted Hydrator. This is in light medium. So I'm going to use the moisturizer on this side and the actual foundation on this side. And they are not going to be the right color, I don't think. So, you know, let's just pretend that they are. So I'll be right back and I'll have my foundation on. Okay guys, so this on this side, this on this side. And I used a sponge and a brush. And now I remember why this one was at the very back of my foundation drawer. It emphasizes I have a lot of texture down here that you typically don't see when I don't have makeup on, but it really comes out with certain foundations, and that was one of them. I applied it with a sponge, and I didn't feel like I got any coverage, so then I went back in with a brush, and I mean, just used a regular foundation brush, and it built up fine. And the same with this, I used the other side of the sponge, and then I built it up a little bit with the brush, and then I used my sponge and just went back over everything. I did go ahead and prime my lids with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. This is a fave of mine, and I only have one shade in the concealer. This is their Mega Last Incognito All Day Full Coverage Concealer. And this is in the shade, it looks like light beige. But I brought another one, another brand in here just in case this one didn't work. So we're going to try this concealer and see what. I think this will be fine. Let's blend that out a little bit with this sponge. Let's see if that's what everyone raves about. Very, very drying. It's drying on this side for sure, on top of the dewy foundation. Let's see how it is on this side. Doesn't feel quite as drying on the moisturizer side, which would make sense. But this side, definitely. Let me take my, it's definitely dry. You can really tell I have a dry patch on my nose right there. So there's that. We're gonna go with it. So, and for powder, of course, the Photo Focus translucent. Again, this is a favorite of mine, and I don't have any cream products, so I am going to go ahead and powder the face. I do not have a Wet n Wild bronzer, so I'm going to just use my Marc Jacobs. I have it out. I was using it for the mirror, so I'm not gonna put as much powder on this side just because it's already so dry. But this dry look, and it's not, it's bunching up right there. Not a fan of that foundation. That's definitely going to be decluttered, passed on, what have you. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to, I do have a cream. I did bring out my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. I want to give this one more try. This is more for me, not necessarily for the Wet n Wild video. But anyway, I'm going to apply this and my bronzer, and I'll be right back. Bronzer is on, and I used a, I ran a little bit through my brows. The Wet n Wild Brow Shaping Gel. This is in brown, just regular brown. And I really do like this, and I'm almost out of it, but I just kind of ran it through a little bit. I didn't do any shaping, anything like that. But I forgot to use this powder. This is the Photo Focus Pressed Powder. This is in Warm Light, and I am going to use a little bit of this to brighten up my under eyes a little bit. And I'm going to use this little triangle puff and get some of this up there. This does have really good coverage. I do like this. I've repurchased this powder many times through the years. But let's see if we can lighten these under eyes up a little bit. No, not much, but that's okay. Alrighty, I did use the eyeshadow primer, and I set the eyeshadow primer with my little Wet n Wild single. I cannot. It's the color icon. It's they're like 99¢. For the life of me, the shade name came off. They put it right on where you open it, so you can't ever remember if you're like me. But anyway, I want to say that it's creme brulee. It's just a cream color, and I put it on to set that sticky primer. So, but for blush, I wanted to go in with, and I've used this before, the Pearlescent Pink. It is one of my favorites. Let's get a little bit on the brush. And let's use this mirror. A little bit more. This is just such a pretty, summery, shimmery shade. I don't know why I don't use it more. I have got to declutter my blushes. I have an embarrassing amount of blushes between palettes, blush palettes, singles, blushes in other face palettes, all in ones. Too many. Too many. Alrighty. Now, for highlighter, I have two options too, and I've used this on many occasions. This is the Precious Petals Mega Glow Highlighting Powder, and it's on this peachy gold. That's what that looks like. But today I'm going to use a loose highlighter. This is in the shade I'm So Lit. And I'm just going to use a little bit out of the cap and hope I do not drop that one. And grab my highlighter brush, which is also Wet n Wild. And I'm just using a little bit out of the cap. It is icy. So, whew, only takes a little bit of this stuff. Tap it out. I don't even know if I'm gonna need a mirror. It's so blind, and you can probably see it from the phone. Yeah. I'm gonna go back in, definitely with my sponge. My eyes are naturally watering today. Always surprised. Right there. I mean, I'm not. Alrighty. Sponge, sponge, sponge. Okay. Let's tone that. Blend it in just a little bit. The setting spray that I have is the, it was from the SpongeBob collection. It's the Best Friends Forever, but it has glitter particles in it, so I don't think I'm going to put any more glitter on my face. So I think I'm going to just spray with the e.l.f. This was e.l.f. X Jen Atkins. It was a collaboration they did. I think she does hair or something. But anyway, I love the mister on this. I'll keep this bottle. Now, for the eyes, I have two palettes, limited. I think you can still get this. I think I've seen this at Walgreens, but it is the Color Icon Bed of Roses eyeshadow quad, and that's what that looks like. I'm going to swatch these because these were very disappointing. I will go ahead and say that right up front. I thought for sure that these colors, I mean, this is right up my alley, you know, and they swatch on the finger good, but on the eyes, they do not perform very well. What? Look at them. They're going to prove me out to be a liar, aren't they? And I've got the Wet n Wild SpongeBob collab, the Nautical Nonsense palette. So, you know, we may just use a little bit of both of them. Let's try that. Let's start out with this shade right here. Do they have names on the back of them? One Eternity Later, that shade. I'm going to start with that. They're quite pigmented. I think I've only ever just really swatched this palette. A lot looked like it came off on the brush, but I'm not getting much on the eyes. But it is close to my skin tone. We're going to do this eye off camera. Let me see if I can fill that up a little bit. Nope. Alrighty, then let's go in with this shade. This looks a little deeper. This is in the shade Howdy, y'all. Howdy, y'all. Let's see if we can, okay, yes. Got a little bit more pigment there. You know, out of all of the Wet n Wild stuff that I do have, what I don't have are any of the 5-pan, the ones that look like Elf, the color icons. I had for years some of the original Wet n Wild little palettes that they had where they actually would write or have it imprinted brow, lid, crease. But I don't have any anymore. But the new ones that they came out with, I don't have any of those. Okay, I'm gonna go in with, let's see if we can get, what shade is this? Sea Star. And if I can't get anything with this, I'm gonna go on in that other palette. And see. Use a different brush. Maybe it's the brush I was using. Okay, that's packing on a little bit more color. For this to be the third color, actually the fourth, if you're, you know, because that single is a eyeshadow. Thought I would get a little bit more than just what's showing up, but that's okay. Alrighty. Now, let's go in, let's use some out of this other palette. The Bed of Roses palette. Since it made me out to be such a liar by that. Let's go in, I'm gonna go in with that shade. And let's see what you can do. I just want a little bit, so I'm just going to use a little Wet n Wild brush. And I'm just going to get a little bit on the end and see if I can get that to show up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is a beautiful plum and blends beautifully. Just put a little bit on my brush. And there we go. Now that's what I'm talking about. I'm actually gonna put a little bit on my lower lash line. Now, for the lid, let's see, did I bring a good packer brush in here? Yes. Come here. A Wet n Wild one. This is one of my favorite brushes. Dollar store. I'm going to go in with Try not to drop everything off my lap. I'm going to go in with this all over the lid, and I'm going to put a little bit of this in the center. And we'll see how that looks. And I am going to wet this. Let's see. Use a little bit of that. Keep knocking this ring light. Yeah, that palette definitely understood the assignment today. However, and it may be it had a coating on it, because I tried to use this palette several times, and it was, I just couldn't hardly get any pigment out of it. So, it might have been, I know some shadows have, I know e.l.f. is famous for that. We have to almost scrape the top off. So, anyway. Oh, I love that. There we go. That is that eye. Now, I'm going to go in, do the other eye, and I'll be right back. We'll do the lips. Hi, guys. I'm back. So, the reality of things are, I am working on passing a kidney stone, and so I went ahead and just did everything else so I could in this video and go suffer in silence. Phew. For my waterline, I have the breakup proof, I've already put it up now. I have the breakup proof eyeliner I have it in brown and I have it in black, and I was going to use brown, but the eyes were already pretty dark, so I just used this. This is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter. I use it in my waterline. It's a pencil, almost a chubby pencil, but it goes on really smooth. It lasts forever. I've had this forever and a day, so I used that in my waterline. For my eyes, when I was doing this, this is watering just terribly, so let's just not look at this one. But I took, after I finished up with the burgundy palette, I took a little bit of this blue, and I just tapped it on the eyes. You know, a little bit like that. It doesn't feel like these are actual, pressed glitters. This one feels just more like a, I don't know, a finely milled, where it will come off and not come off on your face. See how the gold, it's you know, those gold, they swatch patchy, but the blue, it went on pretty fine. So just to kind of give it a little shimmer. You know, I mean, I've got orange, burgundy, and blue. So, I liked it. For my lips, I didn't have a Wet n Wild lip liner, but I used this LA Colors Nude Glam Auto Lip Liner. This is in the shade Opportunity. I got this at the Dollar Tree for obviously, well, $1.25 now, but this color matches my #2 favorite lip color, which is the Wet n Wild, the Liquid Catsuit. This is in Rebel Rose. Yep, Rebel Rose. These matched perfectly. And I went ahead and did that, but let me swatch this one for you. the lip liner, and then I've got to get another one. They matched perfect. But, anyway, I went ahead and did my, my lips as well. And sprayed everything. So, I didn't have any mascara. Even if I did, with my eyes watering the way they are and my, body screaming at me, I probably wouldn't have put it on anyway. So, anyway, this is today's Wednesday Wet n Wild look. I hope you enjoyed this video, had a good laugh. Send some good thoughts my way that this kidney stone passes quickly. At any rate, always remember, be beautiful, be kind, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.